Good afternoon, Bay Nation. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Bay. I'm your host, Mike Williams, and here's my co-host, Jeffrey.
Good afternoon, Bay Nation.
Today, we're going to be going over the Week 11 waiver wire. This is important for everybody. We're getting deep into the season. I know that these decisions are going to shape your team. Spot starts, long starts. Don't worry, guys. I got you here. We're going to start off with the running back position. Salvon Ahmed. Some of you may not have heard of him. Running back out of Miami, with Jordan Howard being cut or released this week, and also Matt Breida being injured. Matt Breida may come back, but Salvon Ahmed looked pretty good this week, and I do think that he's going to get some solid work. Myles Gaskin is not projected to be back this week because he's on IR, so assuming that Matt Breida's not there, and even if he is there, they'd be sharing the backfield, and I think Salvon Ahmed would be pretty solid. Next, Nyheim Hines. Who would have thought the running back for the Indianapolis Colts that you want is Nyheim Hines? At the beginning of the season, I was very big on Nyheim, but after Marlon Mack went down, and then Jonathan Taylor took over, and Jordan Wilkins popped up, it didn't look great for Nyheim Hines, but Nyheim Hines is proving that he actually looks like the best running back on the field. Yeah, I know the draft capital and Jonathan Taylor, but Nyheim Hines looks good. I'm not saying that he's an every week starter, but I'm not sure that you're going to be able to predict when he's going to have these blow-up games, so you may have to just start him. I like Nyheim Hines, though. Next up, Kalen Ballage, running back for the Los Angeles Chargers. He's been looking pretty solid, and with Justin Jackson going down to IR and Joshua Kelly not looking good, Kalen Ballage seems to be the running back that you want in that backfield. Also, Wayne Gallman's been on fire, running back out of New York Giants, that is. Scored 2 touchdowns this week. He looks pretty good, and he's been scoring touchdowns the last few weeks, so I definitely think that he's an add as well. And if you're desperate, Alex Collins should be pretty solid. Next to the wide receiver position, Michael Pittman Jr. looks like the man that's going to be emerging from the Indianapolis Colts. T.Y. Hilton hasn't been getting it done. Michael Pittman Jr. actually looks like he's going to be a main target there, so I definitely think that he's worth an add. He looks really good. Next, we have Jacoby Myers, wide receiver for the New England Patriots. I definitely think that he's a solid start. It looks like Cam Newton has been aiming towards him, and that's always what you want. You want the number 1 receiver on a team. That being said, I'm curious to see what happens when N'Keal Harry gets back. Up next, we have Tim Patrick. I like Tim Patrick because I think that he's actually really talented. Yes, everybody's talking about Jerry Jeudy, but Drew Lock has shown that he can sling it, and I think that Tim Patrick is one of his top targets. Josh Reynolds has been pretty solid this last week. Also, he's been getting like 7 or more targets for the last 3 weeks. I think Josh Reynolds on the LA Rams is a great pickup. I actually played him this week. Now, I told y'all last week, you should play him if you need a spot start. Josh Reynolds is going to be a great start. I played him. Did you? Alright, up next, we have Cole Beasley. Anytime John Brown is down, Cole Beasley is going to be a beast. So, John Brown looks like he's a little dinged up. Fire up your Cole Beasley. Next, moving on to the tight end position. Starting at the top, Logan Thomas. I think that Logan Thomas is getting the targets that you want from a tight end. Tight end is honestly a wasteland. Terrible. There are like 2 or 3 tight ends that are not killing you every week. So, I think Logan Thomas is a player that's an end zone threat, as well as he's going to get some targets. Next, Jordan Reed. I do think that Jordan Reed will be a solid add. He needs to get his feet underneath him, but I do think that they need that George Kittle fill-in. So, Jordan Reed is a big-bodied man, and if he's healthy, he could be solid. Moving on to the quarterback position. Jameis Winston is now relevant again. Drew Brees went down, and I'm sorry that Drew Brees went down. I actually was starting Drew Brees in like 4 leagues, and it killed me. Anyways, I digress. I'll get into that in the Studs and Duds episode. But Jameis Winston, next man up. So I definitely think that he is worth an add. Last time we saw Jameis Winston play football for a long period of time, the Bucks, my Bucks. And you know what? He may have thrown a bunch of interceptions, but he threw a lot of touchdowns and he also threw a lot of yards. So I think that he is worth an ad, at least a speculative ad, to see what happens with Drew Brees. I do think that injury is going to keep him out for a few weeks, though. Next, I think that Matthew Stafford going against the Carolina Panthers should be pretty solid. Panthers don't scare me, and Matthew Stafford, as long as the injury to his hand isn't too bad, I definitely think that he is going to be worth a start. And last but not least, the defense position. The Miami Dolphins have been playing absolutely fantastic on defense, and they get the Denver Broncos, who are not very good. Drew Lock is not an experienced quarterback. You can tell that by watching him. He's going to make some mistakes, and I definitely think that Miami can capitalize on that. Next, I think that the Chargers going against the Jets. Any team going against the Jets, fire them up. Jets obviously don't scare me. All right, I think that's going to do it for this one. Let me know what you think. Who do I have too high? Who do I have too low? Who's not on my list? I think that's going to do it for this one. Peace, Bay Nation.